Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hopefully you guys hear me. Hold up. Y'all, I don't think I got enough sleep. Let me let the people know that we're live. Oh my God, there's so much going on. Where's my Discord? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me know if you guys can see me. Thank you. Put a one in the chat. So we got some stuff to definitely review today. Let me let the people know that we're live. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button, please, and thank you. Support the channel. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness, y'all. All right, let me get that off my headphone. Hey, everybody, welcome. Shout out to the members. Shout out to everybody. We live now. Lord have mercy. Hey, everybody. Okay, I see everybody coming through now. Maybe notifications actually went out. Maybe YouTube is not mad at me. Thank you. You say you're new to the Rabbit family? Well, shout out to you. Thank you. Is it Maria? How are you, Maria? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Shout out to the new subbies. All right. Discord people, y'all need to get in here. We live now. I'm tired. Hey, Flojo, how are you? Yesterday, I'm really tired, actually. I don't feel like I got enough sleep last night. You actually got notified? We're waiting for people to get in here. I got like 3 YT notifications on this live store. Okay, Wendy said she was notified. No, Flojo. I put it in the community wall, and I thought I saw you in there. Hold up. I'm gonna do it right now. Like, I put it up there on the members community wall, and I thought you got in because I saw your name in there. All right, let me generate a new link. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna post it on the community wall for members only. You need to check the member community wall. That's where it's gonna be. Okay. Pretty sure that I saw you in there, unless my eyes are deceiving me. I don't know. All channel members, Flojo, get your butt in there. Post. Okay. There it is for the members only. Make sure you get in there. Okay. I did see your name in there. I saw your name in there. So that's why I was like, yeah. Okay, you got notified? All right. I need to create a Discord. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. Let me shout out. We got some new members. Welcome. Sarah Lynn. My Sarah Lynn has been a member for 23 months. That's a long time. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Soft MTI. Soft, what is it? Soft TMI, MTI. Why did I say MTI? Soft TMI. Like saying your name wrong. Thank you. I feel like you've already been a member for a while. Am I dreaming that? You've been a member. Did you just upgrade? Thank you. You're number 97. Okay. Fungatongo 29. Shout out to Fungatongo 29, member in the channel. All right. Welcome everybody. So let's get it together. Of course, early in the morning, Steve Fisher, SF Investigates, posted some, interesting news that I was like, oh shit, what is going on? So we're going to look into that. And then TMZ posted some information about the grand jury. So we're going to look into that. It's getting kind of interesting at this point, right? But yeah, there's a grand jury. Why? That's correct, right? Kiss 315. Thank you for gifting 1 membership. Is this Kiss a Mooch or is it just Kiss? Thank you, love. Thank you. If you've been gifted, put some hearts in the chat. Thank you. So SF Investigates post kind of like worried me because I'm like, what's going on with SF Investigates, right? That worried me. And then I saw that TMZ dropped an article about the jury. Now, I'm pretty sure, unless it's I guess that would be Josh Marshall, but this is like the road manager, right? This is D4VD's road manager, if I'm understanding this correctly. Let's see if I can move it here. D4VD record exec appears before grand jury. Why didn't you call the police? So TMZ knows the questions that the grand jury is asking. Interesting. So the president of D4VD's touring company was grilled Monday by deputy district attorney in front of a grand jury on why he didn't call the cops. Oh, it sounds like a lot of people knew about D4VD and Celeste. So much so that they're asking this guy in a very tight suit, Robert, why he didn't call the cops. A grand jury is hearing evidence in the death of Celeste Rivas. TMZ broke the story. No, they didn't. TMZ did not break the story. Listen, my memory is always crazy. My memory is always crazy, right? Did TMZ break the story about the grand jury? I'm pretty sure that it was the LA Times, but like I'm getting old. I just turned 41, so my memory is hazy sometimes. I'm pretty sure, but TMZ will tell you that they broke the story, which is one of the reasons we went live and we're like, TMZ knows some information. How come they didn't know about the grand jury? TMZ broke the story. Well, hold up. That the LAPD's robbery homicide division is considering David a suspect. Okay, I guess they did break that one, but not the grand jury one. And what it says is an apparent homicide. Robert Morgenroth, the general manager of Mogul Vision, D4VD's record label, is also the president of Zara Brothers Travel, D4VD's tour company. Interesting. These are interesting companies. We got to look into those companies. Let's pull some financials and some information. That's how we look into it. We've learned Morgenroth testified on Monday before the LA grand jury. At one point, with half a dozen people in the hallway. Morgenroth came into the hallway and was talking to his lawyer loud enough so others could hear. He said, referring to Beth Silverman, the deputy DA presenting the case before the grand jury, she was very pushy on why I didn't call the police. So this information is coming from somebody else who overheard them talking, right? That's interesting. He said, because my posts on Reddit with their article went bonkers. There you go. Not the senior citizen rabbit. That's right. Let's keep going. So he's having a conversation with the lawyers, right? Somebody overheard him say she was very pushy on why I didn't call the police. It's a legitimate question. He went on to recount how he responded. I said, I feel like I didn't have the responsibility to do that and just wanted to continue with the tour. Interesting. We do not know the time frame of the tour to which he was referring, but D4VD was on tour when Celeste's body was discovered in his Tesla, which had been parked near the LA house he was renting. This underscores that D4VD is squarely in the crosshairs of the LAPD and the LA County District Attorneys. Okay? So that is interesting. That is interesting. I want to go to the video because they did do a video on this, I guess. Yeah.
Remember what it feels like to be a little kid?
No.
You can turn the store into a playground.
Let me hurry up with these commercials.
That kid.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I would do at a store. Jump like that and dance like that. Girl, bye. Hurry up.
So leave your adult self outside and call them when it's time to check out. DSW. Let us surprise you.
There is a very interesting development in the case involving singer David and Celeste Rivas, the woman who was found dead in his car.
No.
There is a grand jury.
Not a woman, the child. Okay? Yo, guys, like, she was not a woman, she was a child. All right? So just make sure we got that narrative correct.
That has been hearing evidence in this case. And it is clear to us, based on what we know with the LAPD and now what we know with the LA County DA, that David is in the crosshairs as a suspect. Something happened outside the grand jury room in the hallway that seems to rope in
Really focus on David.
music executives who may or may not know something connected to all
In
of
fact,
this.
the person who spent most of the day on Monday testifying before the grand jury is a guy who is the head of David's record label and the tour company that operates his most recent tour. His name is Robert Morgenroth Jr. And he, like I said, spent most of the day on Monday before the grand jury. When he walked out of the grand jury, and this is what you're referring to, there was a conversation he had with his lawyer in a hallway.
Now let's explain this. This is a kind of wide hallway outside of the criminal courts building.
Now, I've always thought that the grand jury rooms were like, because these are secret rooms, right? So yeah, like I do wonder what this looks like. You said I have to bounce between. Well, shout out to BJ. Y'all make sure you go support her too. Tour company and record labels exec is cray. Well, the fact that they knew it and didn't report, what happened that they felt like they didn't have to report, and what right mind possessed him to say that he's not responsible for a child's death? Well, I don't know the context of the question. Here's the deal. Was there ever a time that he knew? That would be my question for Morgan Roth. Like, when did he find out that she was a child? And for him to say, I didn't think it was my responsibility, knowing that maybe there was something off here. Yeah, like I got a problem with that statement for many reasons.
And the hallway echoes. And there were about a half dozen people around. And he was talking loud enough that people heard it.
Right.
And what was said is really, really interesting.
Because he said that, said to his attorney, they were grilling me.
This is the prosecutor. Her name is Beth Silverman. She is a very seasoned prosecutor, very aggressive prosecutor.
And what he said to his lawyer in this hallway, again, loud enough for other people to hear, he said, she was grilling me about why I didn't call cops.
Why I didn't call cops. That is really, really interesting. Now, his response is also interesting.
Right.
I would say so. And he said this out loud. I said, I feel like I didn't have the responsibility to do that and just wanted to continue the tour.
He said,
That's crazy.
I feel like I didn't have the responsibility to do that and just wanted to continue with the tour.
So let's kind of unpack this. Number one, we can't say what he was supposed to call cops about, according to the DA. This could have to do with anything except for one thing. It seems that the DA believed that there was some criminal conduct for which cops should be called.
Right.
That seems
Why else
obvious.
would the DA be asking that?
And
that's what I would think that if, and it almost, the question itself, why didn't you call the cops, implies that the person would know better. Is it Leanne's who says he knew it was wrong, but turned a blind eye because he's a money maker, and David was more important. That question, when somebody says, why didn't you call the cops? To me, that implies that there was a level of awareness that maybe she was a child, maybe she was a runaway. Is it just me? Put a one in the chat if that implies, it's not like, did you ask her age? No. Why didn't you call the cops? That implies a level of knowledge about what was going on. You said your people know, these are the people. I can't read, man. These are your people. No accountability, no liability, no availability. Yeah, it was his car. That's right. It's a lot to this. You said not taking his side, but if your tour manager called the cops for every illegal thing they saw, would mean the end of tour, and that's true. So maybe not call. Well, I mean, yeah, that would be the end of the tour, and maybe exposing that, and maybe the parents could have also called the cops too. It sounds like I think that there was a level of awareness, at least from that question part.
What the case is about is the LAPD and apparently the DA believe that David may have been the culprit here in the death of Celeste Rivas.
We know that they are operating as calling him a suspect in her death.
That's right. And his answer to me sounds like someone who was either told some information or knew some information, formed a judgment that he wanted to continue with the tour rather than call police. It doesn't sound as if he was maybe sort of not in the know. It sounds as if he knew something.
Well, that's
either told him,
so we
and that's why the DA was pushing on this
The other
issue.
thing we don't know here is exactly what tour he's referring to. But we do know
Well-
that when the body was found in David's car, he was on tour, in the middle of a tour that even after the news of the body being found in his car, continued that tour for another week or so.
Now, to be
Yeah.
fair,
You know what's so crazy is you guys are saying here, like, the music industry needs to be held accountable. I'm surprised that, like, y'all know, like, mandated reporters are by profession, right? Well, I don't understand why the music business doesn't fall under that, because you have children in the music business too, or at least mandated in terms of, like, you know, if there's a runaway or a child artist or whatever, that they're also reporting any suspected of anything. Why? Because then that would hold them liable. If you are a mandated reporter and you're not reporting, there's something to be said there. That's a good clue, but without the context of the conversation, we don't know if they were talking about the body or the email. And we all, oh, that's true. Well, and the email went to Josh Marshall, you know? So this would be a different person. This is a different person that they're talking about. It always comes back to the manager, right? Like, they're held responsible. You said, oh, good Lord, they will never be held accountable. One could only wish they would be. Yeah. You said he was big enough to be on a world tour. Enough. It's a different audience. I mean, some people, you know, for me, it's like, it's not my kind of music, but he definitely had a following and an audience. Different artistry for sure.
this gentleman was with David since 2022, and there have been 3 tours. So it could be a prior tour, except the prior tour doesn't really make sense because Celeste wasn't an issue until this tour.
What criminal activity
and
was
what
going
criminal
on?
activity
So
was
what
going
criminal
on.
activity was going on? You know,
But-
you connect the dots here.
And this dovetails with our understanding that he is considered a suspect. David is considered a suspect, and this now dovetails with the prosecutor grilling.
You're in front of
Yeah.
a grand jury and you're asking
You're trying to get charges.
his tour manager about, obviously.
So
And it's a
they
big
feel that there's
no-no
some
to be
information.
overheard. I'm not sure it was intentional or ever. That hallway does echo. We've been in it many, many times, but it is taken very seriously when the grand jury proceedings are publicly available in this way.
and it just
I
is
have a feeling that they have like a TMC plant in that hallway to figure out like who's coming and going and who's in there and who's everything. Yes, we're about to talk about SF here in a minute. We haven't even gotten there. I promise we will talk about SF because I did see that posting. I didn't go live earlier in the morning. Part of it is because I was tired, but I didn't get enough sleep. But we're gonna talk about SF here. What happens on tour Transpiration Hotel says feeding the roadies and stage people, making sure the venue is set up. Was Celeste working at any capacity in the tour? A lot of behind the scenes. That's what it seems like, right? It's a lot of behind the scenes. You said Rob knew and he didn't report it. Yeah. It actually expands a little bit more depending on the state for Celebrity Podcast. It expands beyond what is it? Mandatory reporting expands a little bit beyond that, depending on the state. Not all the laws are the same. Yeah, that's what I got to say about that. And we could look into California specifically because that's where it lands. But my thing is like somebody said in the chat, well, Michael Jackson, you know, there's a lot of ish that was going on with Michael Jackson and nobody reported it. They just ignored it. So yeah, I mean, if these kids and in Celeste's case, she was just in the situation. She wasn't necessarily in the industry, right? People should be reporting any kind of suspected anything.
interesting. It's like, why didn't you tell police? It means he said something or acknowledged something that triggered the DA to say that if you knew what you just said, why didn't you call the police? And
100%.
he's saying, not my responsibility. My job is to make sure the tour goes on. That's really interesting.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Webb, New York attorney, and my take on this is
Okay, be quiet, Jasmine. Shout out to Jasmine. The fact that this man is more upset about the grand jury person grilling him than the death of a child is insane and depraved and mind-blowing. I agree. It seems like he's more upset about at least. But I think that, look, I don't know, man. People will be putting plants everywhere. It wouldn't surprise me. Out of somebody overheard this conversation. There's likely a TMZ plant out there looking into the courtrooms and stuff like that, trying to see what they scope out. It wouldn't surprise me if they already have him booked for an interview on TMZ. It just wouldn't. It is what it is. Yeah. Morris, thank you so much for the $5. It doesn't matter how big he is. If you see something, say something. There you go. That's my thought. There needs to be more oversight or at least expansion to these mandatory laws, that if you're around children or you're working with children, and I'm not talking about in the capacity where you're babysitting or you're a school teacher, as in like if they're there and you're noticing something, just by trade, you have to do it. But that's my thought on that. I can see her doing everything to get involved and helping out in the band, kind of like blending in, right? I could see Celeste doing that, just kind of blending in. Didn't they say they had fake IDs too? So, I mean, it wasn't that she couldn't get around, but again, I don't know. Let's keep going.
That is really out of context and hard to say what exactly he saw or might have known, but it definitely calls into question what happened on that tour and whether other people had some knowledge of what was going on and maybe would also be implicated after this grand jury hearing.
Well, I don't know that they're implicating. I can just say that he said something that the DA believed should require him to call the cops. I'm not saying
Yeah.
he had
Again,
a legal obligation, but that's clearly how this all unfolded.
It feels like who knew what and when did they know it?
Right.
I would agree with that. Now, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that grand jury transcripts at some point become of public review. Like then you'll be able to request them. So at some point when this is over, if we're able to get those documents, that would be amazing, because I would love to review them. I mean, I'm here for it. Probably costs a lot of money. We could use some of the money that I've been saving for the defamation case that we didn't get to review. I would love to see some of those transcripts of what that looks like if we're able to get them. I think it become public. Yeah, I want to see the transcripts. Put a one in the chat if you want to see the transcripts. So maybe, like I said, I was saving money for the Milagro and Meg the Stallion, but that fell through because of the court reporter. So I was able to roll that over, and maybe we'll save that for here. For this, I would be curious. I'd be curious to know what this looks like for sure. Cool. Thank you. Grand jury docs usually stay sealed even after the trial. That's what they said. I was wondering about this too, because I heard that you can they become public at some point. So it'd be cool. But hold up. Let me go back to this last part real quick of what Harvey says. 1 second. Hold up. So I feel like I heard something different.
Would also be implicated after this grand jury hearing.
Well, I don't know that they're implicating. I can just say that he said something that the DA believed should require him to call the cops. I'm not saying he had a legal obligation, but that's clearly how this all unfolded.
It feels like who knew what and when did they know it?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry. So let's get into SF posts. And so let me be honest. I didn't even know this was posted. I heard about it. People were messaging me. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. What's done in the dark will come to light. Tomorrow morning, I have been ordered to appear in Los Angeles County Criminal Court for an order to show cause hearing for contempt. I was not served with the summons to appear in court. I was not given a complaint outlining the alleged contempt to respond to. There is no case number, and I do not appear anywhere on the court's public docket. I was handed a handwritten note from a deputy district attorney on Friday and told to appear Tuesday morning. A punishment hearing in criminal court that is not even assigned a case number, seemingly because they do not want this to be public information. I would speculate that this might have something to do with this situation right now. Am I wrong for speculating that? I don't know. But I did speculate that something was going on with Steve, and my speculation was clearly right on, or maybe, I don't know. This is crazy. Okay, so all right, let's keep going, okay? Love me or hate me, this should concern you. Love me or hate me, this should concern you. The fact that this is happening in our criminal court system is terrifying. That is why I'm going to That's why I'm going public before the hearing tomorrow, which I will not be attending, so that the public and the press are aware of what is happening. Here's the backstory. Recently, I testified on 2 separate days as a witness before a grand jury. When I was served with the subpoena for the first day of testimony, 2 detectives came to my door at 6 a.m. Shit, who said I was there? I don't even open. Listen, I treat my front door like I treat my phone. I'm a screener and I don't answer because people that know me know not to call me. So that's weird. 6 in the morning is crazy. Okay. 2 detectives came to my door at 6 a.m. and instructed me to immediately call the deputy district attorney. She told me that because I was now a grand jury witness, I was no longer allowed to speak about this case and that it would be illegal if I did. This puts me in an impossible position. I have a client directly related to this case. If I cannot speak to my client, I'm violating my professional duty. This was the entire point of me calling. This was the entire point of calling me as a grand jury witness. It was a strategy used to try to silence me. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiners has publicly spoken about a similar silencing strategy being attempted against their office. Then I did my research on the law, spoke to lawyers, and found out that I was being lied to. Here's the critical fact. In California, witnesses to a grand jury do not have a general obligation of secrecy. That obligation applies to the jurors and officers of the court. A witness is only bound to secrecy regarding anything they learn solely from the grand jury proceedings. It does not apply to anything they already knew before testifying or anything learned outside of the grand jury. I want to pause here because many people are going to search this online. Google AI is likely going to give them the wrong answer by claiming that witnesses must remain completely silent. If you click through to the actual sources it cites, you will see that the AI summary is incorrect. California law is silent on imposing total secrecy on witnesses. Instead, witnesses are routinely I can't really say this word, admonish that they may not disclose certain things, but those certain things only include what was learned from the public grand jury proceedings itself, not independent knowledge or publicly known facts. In 1983, the California Attorney General issued a written opinion on this exact issue for legal clarification. It is very clear. I have attached screenshots of that opinion. I also want to be very clear about this. I never disclosed my testimony, even though the law would have allowed me to discuss my own testimony. I never publicly disclosed that I was a witness before the grand jury, not once, not twice. Instead, the deputy district attorney abused the power of the grand jury process in an apparent attempt to silence me. I was told that I broke the law, and I was given a handwritten note telling me to appear in criminal court for a contempt hearing. There is no summons. There is no case number. The matter does not appear on the public docket. There is no documentation outlining what I'm accused of, so that I can respond. I was also told that if I left town, I had to be back by Tuesday morning. I wrote a detailed letter to both the judge and the deputy district attorney explaining my position. They have had that letter since Friday afternoon. I received no response. With the hearing just hours away and the threat of a contempt charge hanging over my head in what appears to be a secret, off the books court proceedings, I had no choice but to go public so that the people and the press are aware of what is happening. This is the only way I can protect myself from what I believe to be an abuse of power. It is frightening that this is happening at the highest level of our court system. There is no power and transparency. I was left with no choice. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna need you to you're doing too much in my chat. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Y'all, let me know what you guys think. Let me do something real quick, though. Sorry, I needed to do something. I don't know, man. Is it Aaliyah? He sounds like he highlighted the case. The effect of an oath of secrecy is said to be that such witnesses are not prevented by thereby if they do desire from giving anyone any information they may have relevant to the matter in connection with which they are subpoenaed, even though it is the same information they testified to before the grand jury. But that oath does not preclude them from disclosing what testimony they or others gave, or in other words, from revealing what took place in the grand jury room. He could talk to people. The handwritten part is wild to me. What is that on toilet paper? This is weird. What makes you say that though? Sandra, tell me more. Why do you feel like Celeste won't get any justice? You got to say more, love. This D4VD thing is a touchy subject. He said it was an invitation to the public snack bar, Revan. It's a handwritten note, y'all. It's not even like what's the case number? Yeah, viral beast. I would say it's like scary. I'm in shock, y'all. Like I read some of it, but not all of it. It's not a legal document. So what do you make of it? If somebody subpoenas me, they that's like sending me a postcard without the official number. Like usually you need a number and stuff like that. Right. Like lawyer time. I don't know if he hired a lawyer or whatnot, but damn, like again, he's talking about the grand jury, and I can only assume, and my assumption would be that he's speaking about this case right here. You said the world gets better. What would you guys do in a situation like this? Right. Like, otherwise, how do you know which case do you know? Like, don't you need a case number, a docket number, or something? Hell, like the judge's signature, just put the judge's name. Olivia Rosales. And it says right here, thus, the witness may freely discuss the things he or she learned before or after the grand jury appearance, if he or she chooses, so as long as he does not indicate that it was grand jury testimony or otherwise disclose the nature or subject of the grand jury inquiry. Is insane. I don't know. I'm like in shock. Look at this. And hold up. Steve, oh shit. Somebody said, I'm going to read the comments. Steve, I've questioned your interviews and motives, and it's right. And it's my right to do that. This is an intimidation tactic. State is allowed to ask certain info, remain quiet, not allowed to direct an entire narrative by silencing people. We, the people, are supposed to have our own opinions. I agree. Is this a silencing tactic? Maybe we need to do a poll just so I can like assess where everybody's at. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let's do a little poll. This is unheard of. I just don't know what to make of it. Do you believe that SF is being silenced by the LAPD or grand jury or what? I guess I don't know. By maybe I'll say prosecutor. I've never heard of anybody writing a hand note, and then he doesn't even know where do you Yeah, like, yeah, has this been done before? She just said public part from publicity in the sentence below. Reading. His text doesn't have. Wait, what did you say? His text doesn't have it. LOL. Hold up. Public grand jury wasn't actually said in SF Post. She just picked public part from publicity or publicly in the sentence below while reading. His text doesn't have it. Are you talking about me when I was reading it? We can go back and read it again. I just want to make sure. Let me know. Is it hello there? Shout out to you. I'm looking at the poll. Let me see where you guys are landing with this. Wow, look at this poll. You said some shady stuff. There is no case number. Yeah, like where does he appear to? Or what's the case? I don't know, man. This is crazy. Okay, hold up. Lawyer up? I would too. Yeah, let me know First Liberties podcast. Oh, I read it the post wrong in a small part. Okay. Do you remember what part I was? Thank you so much. Hello there for correcting me because it sounds like I read something wrong. Hold up. Let me see. Is it on the grand jury part or he didn't say grand jury, but he said, let me go back a little bit. In California, witnesses to a grand jury do not have a general obligation. Is this the one you're talking about of secrecy? That obligation applies to the jurors and officers of the court. A witness is only bound to secrecy regarding anything they learn solely from the grand jury proceedings. It does not apply to anything they already knew before testifying or anything learned outside of the grand jury. I want to pause here because many people are going to search this online. Okay, he says that, and we don't want to give the wrong answer. California law is silent on imposing total secrecy on witnesses. Instead, witnesses are routinely admonished that they may not disclose certain things. But those certain things only include what was learned from the grand jury proceeding itself. Not independent knowledge or publicly known facts. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Hello there. Thank you. I got your comment. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for correcting me. This is crazy, man. I'm a little like, what? Five Divine, thank you so much for the $4.99 love. Thank you, appreciate it, and thank you so much for your email too. I think I saw your email earlier. Thank you, love. The judge's name is a judge at that court, but the handwritten note, no signature. Now hold up, that's the kind of note you leave on someone's car after witnessing a hit and run, right? You put it on their windshield, girl, right? Let me see something about California because now I'm kind of curious. This is disturbing. I will say that. But I want to see something about Cali real quick. Hold up. If held in contempt in California court, I don't know how to ask this. In a grand jury, as a grand jury witness, is a handwritten note appropriate? Is a handwritten note from, we don't even know if it's from an official. Is a handwritten note appropriate? I mean, I'm assuming that, I wonder if any calls were made. I don't want to assume that SF didn't call to verify or anything, because you would think that he would. You smell cover up? It's off. Okay, so I just asked the question. A handwritten note would not be considered an adequate substitution for in-person testimony before a grand jury. That's not what we're asking. Is this like, is a handwritten note supposed to be a subpoena, or what is it supposed to be? Yeah, I'm kind of confused about that. It has to be signed by a judge, but they wrote the judge's name in there. So how do you find out? A napkin to blow your nose. That's my thought. I was like, they left toilet paper. Oh, unless the district attorney admits that they gave the note. But don't you think that that'd just be crazy? Like, who wrote it? You said it's a snack bar meeting and they're going to threaten him to keep shutting him up. Yeah. Okay. You said the legal system always includes paperwork, not handwritten notes. Okay, let me go back a little bit, see if I can find some more clarity. So when he says he was called at 6 a.m, this put me in an impossible position. Then I did my research and I was lied to. Okay, here's some critical facts. The obligation applies to jurors and officers of the court. A witness is only bound to secrecy. Okay. I want to pause here. Okay. I want him to talk about this note a little bit more. Where did I miss that? I might have been a little bit more up there. I was told that I broke the law and I was given a handwritten note telling me to appear in criminal contempt court. There is no summons. There's no case number. The matter does not appear on the public docket. There's no documentation outlining what I'm accused of, so that I can respond. I was also told that if I left town, I'd be back by Tuesday morning. Okay, so let me copy and paste this right here. Let's see if we can figure this out right here. And now I'm going to put the state of California. In California for grand jury. Now I'm curious. Okay, so what I got, and I'm just kind of Googling real quick, with the AI, they said this is a very serious situation and you're asking the right questions. I'm not a lawyer, but I can walk you through what I see in California law. They're like, it's a very serious situation. I literally think it would be. You said, I'm a bit confused, but they did their part by composing a letter requesting further information and clarity, but got no response and made it public, citing that they didn't know what to do. I don't know. All right, so let me tell you all what what the search says. What California law requires for contempt proceedings, including for grand jury subpoenas. So it lists out what they require. Okay. All right. So then why your decision does not match what should happen under the law and is likely invalid or suspect. You received a handwritten note telling you to appear in criminal court for a contempt hearing, but you have no summons, no case number, no docket record, and no documentation stating what you are accused of or why. If there's truly a contempt proceeding, the court should have provided formal notice with a case number and charging document, or at a minimum, a written order describing the basis of your contempt. Yeah, you should know what you're being held in contempt for. A random handwritten note without formal court process, service, or documentation almost certainly fails to satisfy due process requirements under California law and controlling constitutional principles. Okay, there you go. You posted it on members? Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you, Morris. Now let me keep going with this. This is an interesting read. Give me 1 second. So they're saying here that it's to hold somebody in contempt. Just a random handwritten note fails to satisfy due process requirements under California law and controlling constitutional principle. In short, it seems very unlikely that such a note constitutes a valid contempt charge, especially if no official subpoena or court order was served and no case was ever filed or docketed. What to do in a situation? You have to request formal documentation, check public records, which he did. Do not reply on a handwritten note alone. Don't write back. Consult a qualified attorney. That's interesting. Now hold up. Let me see what was sent to me in the Discord. Okay. Yeah, so you pulled exactly what I pulled, Morris. Thank you, Morris. Morris pulled, it's on the Discord for those that are members if you want to see it. Morris pulled exactly what we pulled too, that in the state of California, a handwritten note is not enough for a summons. So formal service is key. So they have to summons. A complaint must be properly served, delivered. I mean, if they're waking you up at 6 a.m, you would think that that's how they're going to, why wouldn't they deliver you something, right? Proof of service, the server must file proof with the court that they were officially notified. Handwritten notices aren't summons. This is all California. So a landlord, oh, girl, hold on. So a landlord, handwritten evict. Okay, wait. So it says right here, handwritten notices aren't summons. A landlord's handwritten eviction notice, for example, isn't a summons. You still need a court order after a lawsuit is filed. The handwritten note might be accepted as evidence as part of a documentation like a will, but it generally won't suffice as a legally binding summons to make someone appear in court officially. Court official documented service. Formal court paper is required to compel an attendance. Yeah, I don't know, man. Something's off about this. You know? Thank you, Morris, again. Clearly, Shelly, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Thank you. You said, is this the US? This handwritten stuff doesn't work here, people. It's intimidation, yeah. Soul Powered Tarot said that handwritten notes are acceptable in the Timu law world. I don't know, man. This seems so off. You said it's bogus? If I was I mean, I can understand why I would be worried, if I was SF, but what if this was a tactic to make him publicly come out? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, unless he's talked to somebody or he's called somebody. So, because here he says that he wrote a detailed note to the judge and the deputy attorney explaining my position, that received no response with hearing just hours away. I had no choice but to go public so that people and the press are aware of what's happening. What if it was that would be my question, because here SF isn't talking about the fact that, like, did he call somebody in the court and just let them know what happened? Unless this was a setup to make him just publicly talk about it. I don't know. This is so weird, guys. You said it was basically a warning sign, a warning to silence him prior to sharing any more information. Looks like a love note. Are we in high school? I would have called the courts. Did he, I would have verified. I'd be like, look, this is weird. I don't know who I'm talking to. Like, it sounds like he had already, based on this, it sounds like he's already gone to testify once. So was there anybody else in here that he could have gotten in contact with? I'm wondering if That's, I don't know, man. Or maybe it's legit. I don't know, which would be weird. You think it's intimidation? That's what I have to wonder. Was it like a setup? Like to make people come out? Well, one thing is for sure, grand jury stuff is happening, like that is something, but I want to see what the people are telling him in the comments. Hold up. So, okay, so SF, so this was Amy, who basically said this is an intimidation tactic. SF said, I do not have a problem with anyone questioning my interviews and tactics if they do it in a respectful way like you have. I'm also glad you see this has nothing to do with that. It's scary this can happen to our justice system. I agree. Like, I don't think he's never had an issue or anything like that. White boy lockdown radio. Oh, he follows me. Oh, do I not follow him? Hold up. Should follow back. Sorry, y'all. I'm like really bad at my follows on Twitter. Everyone should repost and share this to get more eyeballs on what is happening to Steve. We all know this is wrong, but unless it gains traction, it won't be covered. Share this. Let me do that. Repost. Okay. WTF, I wouldn't go if I didn't get mail and an official served document and there's allegedly no case number, then there's nothing for me to show up for, right? So sorry that you're going through this. Absolutely crazy. It is the stop poking the bear signal. Sure seems to be an abuse of power and corruption. Wow, thanks for sharing. Why is this case so scary for them? Here's the question that I have. Why are they treating this case this way? I'm assuming, right? Because we're talking about D4VD. Why are they treating this case like this? If we're doing pen and paper, like I don't know, man. Like, why are we treating the case like this? Joy Connolly, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you. I think you renewed your membership. You think it's intimidating? Everybody's saying that. You said some reasons he would be accused of contempt, hiding documents, or failing to produce according to the subpoena, failure to appear, and witness tampering. We may never know. Well, there you go. I mean, I want to know what the allegations are. I don't even think he really knows, right? Something's weird about this. This is exactly how power gets absurd, quiet, off the books, aimed at anyone who isn't supposed to talk. A secret. Stay safe because that's crazy. To have it known as a summons, no way. If they can't do this to someone testifying under the law, they can do this to anyone. Sunlight is the only protection against stuff like this. Good that you went public about this. I'm still amazed that you were able to do so much discovery after that. The police thought they were finished and in around a house where D lived. And after that, it was allowed to remove things. That's crazy. He's just doing his investigative work, but the police haven't done anything. Please keep checking in. Andressa even commented, get a lawyer. People are saying get a lawyer. This is scary. Good luck. Tomorrow, very odd. Hope you have an attorney that can help out for sure. Well, Tuesday just got more interesting. Oh my God. Wow, no kidding. That is crazy. Hang in there, Steve. Good luck on your search. I hope the weather breaks. And I don't know if you guys know, if you follow Steve on his Twitter, he does a lot of search and rescue. And I think he's like in that last picture, I don't know, like mountains or something. That guy be searching mountains and different hills and whatnot. This is atrocious attempt to silence you. Hold up. Wow, that's crazy. Unbelievable. I'm looking to see any other comments. Unbelievable. I'm trying to figure out what would make them take this tactic. And when did he post this? Was he supposed to go in today? Oh, has he posted anymore? Look, people are worried. That's like 4 hours ago. Are you okay? Please keep your family and prayers safe. Let's see. This dude's going to jail for being a super shady victim, blaming BOS. What? And I'm here for it. Okay. All right. Scare tactics. What's the result of this nonsense. Yeah, I think people are asking and nobody said anything. Yo, this is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. You said SF should call Nancy and ask what to do. Oh my God. This is just wrong, y'all. I don't know. Could the handwritten note just be a distraction for some reason? I don't. Here's the deal. Let me play devil's advocate here. I would think, knowing a little bit of SF, right, because of the cases that he's done, I think that he would take any court, anything very serious, right? So the way I see it is I could see him maybe calling the court to verify the information. And if he's not hearing back, then is there any validity in this information? I don't know. Handwritten note so it doesn't have to go on the file. Yeah, like he's a PI, right? Like he would know to go verify the information. So I don't know, man. This is just so off. If you tell me to come to court on a tissue paper, I ain't going. Well, before, I worked in the government, and when we wanted to close a case, one time a judge signed a sticky note for me to take it back to the agency that I was working for, and he even noted, like, he put the signature on it. So like I said, everybody, I mean, a sticky note can be part of a legal filing too. That's why I'm like, I don't know what to make of it. But based on what California law says, it sounds like it could be different. Do a poll on who would go and who wouldn't. Who would go and who wouldn't where? You said sounds like SF has a lot of secret admirers. I bet it does. I bet the guy has a lot of secret admirers. To a lot of people, and some of them are just not even that secret. They're just admirers. This is off, y'all. I don't even know what to think about it. Are they setting them up? Yeah, and this is not a legal pad. Yeah. Any piece of paper that is notarized by legit. My mom worked. Yeah, you can. I literally had a judge sign a sticky note, and again, it's a different type of situation. But a judge signed a sticky note, basically made it legal, and then updated their minute orders. And all I had to do was take the information to where I worked, and that was that. You said he's better off complying since this is for confidential session. It won't be recorded for the public, but he will get a mark on his criminal record for contempt. You said Steve is a babe. Don't. Y'all need to stop. It's like oh my God, what does it remind me of? Tinkle Tits. Tinkle Tits said that the glare is a babe. He's a zaddy. Y'all stop, all right? Y'all stop. You say oh my God, y'all are doing too much. I rebuke. I'm sure the Burks are behind it. Yeah, don't forget the family. You got a lawyer in that family. It's too much. Desperation. I'm trying to understand this in the most logical way, and I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around this. That's what I want to know. You said viral. I didn't realize who handed it. Either way, it's weird. It's a weird situation. You said the signature is not even cursive? Rabbit, why do you think they're threatening him in contempt? Could it be for showing other people video of a Tesla? I don't know. That would be a great question. I mean, not knowing. Here's the deal. Because I know people have said different things and whatnot. And, whatever. To each his own, whatever you want to believe. My thing is like we've been told a lot of different things, and there's no receipts of any of the things that people have alleged against SF. Have you guys been shown an NDA? Has anybody been shown, like, what if people have been shown? I have yet to see, like, I've seen a bunch of screenshots of Discord messages, but it doesn't really like tell me anything that would help me understand what is the concern. I haven't seen anything. I've heard a lot of allegations, but I've never seen anything. Now, if I see something, then I'll tell you, okay, guys, I saw something. Yeah. Yeah, he did. He offered money. He offered money for anybody to show, and I believe it. That's why I'm like, yeah, it's a huge allegation. And that's why I don't like, take it with a grain of salt unless you're shown a receipt. That's kind of where I'm at. You know. We're off to the screenshots. Yeah. Yeah, give me a screenshot or something. But I personally, if we're saying that if this is the question, what is it? And you would think that these people that have said that they've seen something or they were shown something or shared something, that they would have put that out there. I mean, they've put everything else out there. People have put AI photos or pictures that don't even look like her. I don't understand what the issue is. Now, as far as that, I mean, I don't know. What would make them want to hold SF Investigates in contempt? That would be the question. Yeah, not at all. And Nancy Grace has tried to beat it out of him. You say, why would you not want to work with the prosecutor, though? They're the ones trying to get convicted. That's right. Like, that's a great question. Oh, hold up, y'all. Y'all, sorry about that. I got receipts also of what he does. Okay. SF admitted on X he gave evidence to D4VD to escort people. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know, man. So are we gonna assume that whatever was shared amongst the Discord people that somehow that's gonna hold him in contempt? I don't know. It's a stretch, but that's just my opinion. You guys can have your opinion though. I don't know. In my opinion, hearing about this in the LAPD makes me believe TMZ and the ME's account of different things, which now don't sound so nefarious to me. Are you talking about the frozen stuff? Is that what it is? I'll believe it when I see it. That's when I am. D. Marie, that's kind of how I am. I believe stuff when I see it. Otherwise, it's just hearsay. People say a lot of shit about people online. They say a lot of things about me. That's why I'm like, I don't know. I wonder if TMZ is using their sources to have the DA's office believe he is trying to sell info. I don't know. Not unless the court says he wasn't allowed to. I just want justice for Celeste. David should be spending the holidays behind bars. I don't know. 1 second, y'all. Okay. She said, Rabbit, maybe it's AI hush hush so that the PDFs can have access to the paper trail. They became public through paperwork. They would all go in hiding. You said, I said when he first started to get involved that if he continues, he would end up getting charged. It's a fine line, and SF putting even a small amount of information out undermines the police, says Sam's well. Sam, I don't know. What I do know is that it's all sketch, in my opinion. To have a paper written summons, I don't know. Like, hold up. Let's be very clear. I don't want to make it up, but like, this isn't. Who does this? And it doesn't even tell you what the paper says. Like, how do if I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, this is somebody's address, and there's a judge. Like, y'all, Toilet paper summons? I don't know. Like, this is so weird. It's all very weird. That's what I have to say. I don't know how I feel about it. She told me, hold up. So recently I testified on 2 separate days as a witness. So at least it sounds like he might have gone once before a grand jury when I was served with the subpoena as the first day of testimony. 2 detectives came to my door and instructed me immediately to call Deputy District Attorney. She told me that because I was now a grand jury witness, I was no longer allowed to speak about this case and it would be illegal if I did. This put me in an impossible position. I have a client directly related to the case. Okay, I read that part. Now, this was the entire point of calling me as a grand jury witness. It was a strategy used to try to silence me. I thought retrograde was over. Yeah, there's no signature. There's no case number. Robin, if I'm like trying to understand, well, how is that even valid? It just is so off. I don't know, man. Never in a million years. I mean, but if they can do this and people get away with it, I don't know, man. Let me see what the poll says. We have 254 votes. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button, please, and thank you. Hype up the video. I don't tell you guys to do that enough. I need you guys to like the video, please and thank you. Yeah, as a PI, you got to lawyer up. I agree. I would probably lawyer it up too. Hold up. Do you believe that SF is being silenced by prosecutors? 85% yes. 15% no. The people that, let me ask you guys a question. The people that said no, then what do you think is happening? Because we have people that voted no. The question is, do you believe that SF is being silenced by prosecutors? Why do you believe he would not be silenced by prosecutors? I'm kind of curious. Let me know. Why does SF talk in riddles? I don't know, man. You said like it how I oh, you hype the video after it's done when we're done with the live. I'm trying to understand if anybody has an opposing view on this. You said the 15% are off the rocker, Nini. I don't know the prosecutors. I don't know, man. It's interesting. I'll say that much. Yeah. You said it just doesn't make sense, as I've said or posted anything regarding Celeste's case since he was asked not to. How could he be in contempt? Yeah, I don't get that either. I don't know. I don't think here's the deal, y'all. Like I said, for what though? I mean, he's been the only one to have been able to find information. Why? A lot of people have used SF's investigates information too. So I don't know if that's necessarily the need to do that. Yeah, what's the definition of contempt? Well, the legal definition of contempt. Let's go ahead and pull that because I don't want to. I feel like I know, but still, what is the legal definition of contempt? Not consent, contempt. Contempt of court means willful disobedience, disrespect, or obstruction of a court's authority or order, dignity, ranging from disruptive behavior in the court or failing to follow orders. It serves to uphold judicial power. So whatever contempt, whatever falls, did he fail to do something here? Did he not follow the orders? Did he obstruct? I think it's open to a lot of interpretation because he's not really telling us anything. You're in contempt. I smell odor. Yeah. What if that note was written by someone else? And that's what I'm saying. That's kind of where my mind went. Speculation completely. Please note that. But my mind did go there. I said, well, wouldn't that be a way to set you up? But I would think that SF, before going public, he would have confirmed whether this was legit, right? like before you go public, you confirm it, you know? But in my mind, I'm like, well, what if they wrote this to try to make SF go public and then kind of, you know, hold themselves in trouble or something? But I don't know. Yeah. And does some random person have the authorization to send you to see a judge on a non-formal document? Right, Olga. That's a great question. At any time you willfully go against these rules, many, many more, you broke the law. Oof. And who says it's from the prosecutor? Who knows? Not Better Call Busby. We are not calling Busby. We are not calling the Busby. I don't know. So I'm kind of curious. You said you feel like he's hurting the case. You don't see them as silencing him. If him talking helps their case. Gotcha, 9-1 Darby. Well, I guess we all got to respond to somebody, you know? It's kind of how it is. Yeah, guys, I mean, literally, I just don't. It's just too much, you know? Maybe the defense team send it. A handwritten note. I just don't think that I don't think that SF would fall for something like that. That's just my thought. SF did not divulge info that he knew before the GJ because he didn't want to mess up his investigation or hinder LE. Or so this is BS. There you go. I know. Imagine having a buzzball after this one. That would probably put me to bed because I'm tired. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about, and I'll be live tomorrow, by the way, probably in the morning if I can get my sitter on time. We're probably going to keep talking about this. I'm going to see what I can find out, guys. I can't guarantee anything because I'm sure that people can't talk, but I'm going to do my best to see what I can find out. That's okay for me to find out. Rebecca K. Park was, so the affidavit was released on Rebecca K. Park. For those that don't know, that is the 22-year-old woman who went missing while she was 38 weeks pregnant. We talked about the affidavit, like this woman, her mom cut the baby out of her stomach. Very gruesome, horrible case. And basically, like, mom is dead, and so is this baby. We released that affidavit this morning. It is a horrific case. So make sure if you guys are going to go watch it, I uploaded the video. You'll find it on my uploads or premiere videos. I'm telling y'all, I'm giving you guys the biggest trigger warning ever in your life. I'll show you which one it is. This is right here, y'all. This one right here. They took her baby. It's like the worst. And it came from her own mother and stepdad. Yeah. So that's a different kind of case, but it's one that definitely deserves coverage. There's a lot happening on TikTok with family members these family members, mom, who was charged with the murder, was like doing interviews on TikTok, trying to sway the people and like change the story and the narrative on people and whatnot. I've never in my life would have thought, like, you would never think that a mom would do that to her own child. You were watching it before I started. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys are liking that video because those are the videos that they try to suppress. Anytime you're talking about true crime on YouTube, it's always very like contentious because unless you're Law and Crime or a Nancy Grace or TMZ, they really don't like creators that aren't behind corporations talking about true crime cases. So your support in hitting the like button or hyping the video does help. It's crazy. Well, Cheeks, you got to go listen to that affidavit. And I give you the biggest trigger warning because I had a hard time reading it. I think maybe that's why I didn't sleep well last night. Listening to that, it was too much. Yeah, it's effed up. It's an effed up case that your own mom would do that to you. It's too much. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go because I gotta get some rest. But I will see you guys on the next one. Let me know what you guys think. I'm a little like baffled, maybe not baffled, maybe confused. I'm confusional. And if I can understand a little bit more, maybe I'll talk to an attorney. I do have some attorney friends. Maybe I'll reach out to one of my attorney friends and ask, like, is this done? Is this a thing? I don't think so. I don't know. I guess I don't know. Um, that's my thought on that. But I will see you guys on the next one. Shout out to everybody watching the replay. Hit the like button. You guys have a good night. Bye, guys.